Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining the Cash Geeks Network. Guys, I'm Dom.
And I'm G.
And this is the Cash Geeks Network. And like we say every Tuesday, we are here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I say it on Tuesdays, and we show up every Tuesday.
It's true. It's true.
Every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, like clockwork, bringing some aspect of real estate to you. Whether it's wholesaling, flipping, retail sales, probate scenarios with our boy Al Nicoletti.
Flipping with Gary.
Flipping with Gary. And tonight, the special guest is Al Nicoletti. What's up, Al?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I love it.
Bro.
Yeah, thanks for being up here. I'm glad you're up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for doing this, Al. We appreciate
awesome.
it, man.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, first and foremost, I'm so happy G is here.
Yeah.
Because again, this is the first episode I've done two prior ones, right? First episode that G is here with us. I think he bailed on me the first time to Arizona, and the second time he was on his honeymoon, so he was excused. But you know, I love being here with you guys and
But
talking.
not as excited as me being here. Is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah, it was exciting with you on both times.
Shouldn't it be more exciting that I'm here? Is like Dom keeps coming through. He's consistent.
He is. You're
he's always there.
He's always there.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So Al, man, I mean, dude, you're everywhere these days, man. I mean, you're all over the internet, a lot of micro content. You've got your own show. We're probably doing more probate deals as we've ever done, more deals with you lately. Like, there's so much going on in your world. What's going through your mind these days?
So I just started out on my own. Finally, I got my own law practice, right? Law Offices of Al Nicoletti. It's official
That's the
now.
name?
Yep, that Law Offices of Al Nicoletti.
Is there a rule as to how you are allowed to create your name as an attorney, or if you're creating your own business?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I've seen other attorneys like do that as well. I think what we did was we put the S there because it won't be the last office I set up, right? I think there was a little bit of thought that
Projecting there.
hey, we're going to scale. I mean, this again, this whole probate thing, we'll dive in. I've automated it, I've systemized it, and I've monetized it, right?
You know what? Name it Law Offices of Al Nicoletti.
Wait, is this the hip hop office of Al Nicoletti?
And Cash Geeks.
Run that back real quick. Run that back.
Repeat that. Monetize it.
I've systemized it, I've automated it, and I've monetized it.
Nice. Okay.
You got to come up with a rap about that.
I can. I mean, I can keep going about
the probate game.
The probate game's a big game.
I monetize it, systemize it, and then I monetize it again.
It's hard out here for a probate attorney, right?
I monetize it and then I monetize it.
That's awesome.
Figured it out. So what can I say?
So law offices. Well, the reason I asked that question is because as a real estate agent, if you're either going to get paid through your name, or if you open up an LLC, the LLC has to be your name, like Dominic Felix LLC or Dominic Paul Felix LLC, which is mine. So, and then you can't. There's no way around that. So that's why I was asking about the law, because it's so common, right? Harrell, and Farrah, like their names
Nicoletti
are in
and
the
Nicoletti.
title. What if there were like 5 Nicolettis? How would that sound?
Well, that was a problem, actually, because I was looking up for a name, and when I was looking up a name, I was trying Nicoletti Law Firm and Nicoletti Law, and I was like, they're already taken.
What?
And I was
Dude.
whoa. So Law Offices of Al Nicoletti wasn't the first thing we were looking at, right? We were looking at Nicoletti Law Firm, all of it, and they were already taken. And I was like, who is this Nicoletti? And apparently they're out in like Tampa or Pinellas, and I was like, there's more Nicolettis? I mean, I know in New York there's like, thousands of Nicolettis, but in Florida there's not
Do
many.
we need to Ray Donovan?
You mean there are more
Yeah, maybe
Nicolettis?
get Ray Donovan out
Hey,
there,
Dom,
right?
we need to Ray Nicoletti. Ray Nicoletti. We need to Ray Donovan these Nicolettis.
Well, I think it would be cool if it was like Nicoletti and Nicoletti and Nicoletti. That would be awesome.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you never know where things are going,
I
right?
think that was
love
a cool solution, though.
I love it.
Law offices of Al Nicoletti.
Yeah, and the name, I put that out there because the name has been a brand lately, right? Like we could talk about that too, is that I've been really pushing that a lot. And I think brand and personal brand was important to me, especially when COVID happened, right? Like, there's a name to it. People want to put a face to a name. When you hear probate, a lot of people hear Al Nicoletti. So it was like a thing to do, and constantly seeing things and images. That's why I started doing the logo a lot more, right? The logo was a huge thing for me. So I think the whole Al Nicoletti thing has just been everywhere, and I just wanted to push it out more.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think one of the cool things is, it can work great immediately. It might take some time to build up the momentum, but during that journey, it all feels fun. right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's exciting, it's fun. We're all happy to do the things that we're doing to spread our name out there. So if you can enjoy that journey, I think that's hands down amazing.
Oh, and I think the journey really started when I was going to the Yellowbird stuff in 2019, right? Like that was like really early on when I first started really getting involved. And then in 2020, I started doing the videos and going to more of the meetings. And then March 2020, that hit. And what we couldn't do anything, we couldn't network. And that was like, that forced me into a new position, right? That forced me to start doing something different, which I wouldn't probably be where I am today with all the media stuff if I wasn't doing that, right?
Right.
You know, that was a business shift, right? So it's not all about law. You know, everybody thinks lawyer law. Like you got to know business side to it, and you know, you got to know marketing, right? I had a mentor of mine. He told me, he was like, you can't just be a lawyer out there. You got to know how to be a lawyer and market at the same time. You got 2 jobs, right? Not 4, 2. You know.
Usually it's one job, but you have
Multiple jobs.
Do you guys talk about a sales or conversion aspect of it as well?
No, a lot of lawyers don't really talk about that. Maybe if you go to like the bigger firms, they probably have meetings about that. But that's something I've learned from all of you. So something I realized in the last couple of months is I love watching what you all do.
Okay.
Right? Like with leads, conversion, lead management, follow-up, right? That kind of motivates me in my business, right? I'm sitting there on a Saturday going through all my contacts going, wait a second, that was a probate, that was, you know, what's happening? I'm even like, you know, once in a while, hey, Gary, what happened to that one? Well, what, you know, we don't ever know. So the business has just really taken off with, you know, everything happening. And it's exciting that I'm on my own now, right? I don't have the thumb on me anymore.
Very cool.
You know?
The thumb on you.
Yeah, you know, the oversight, the supervision.
Okay. Did you leave like that scene in Jerry Maguire where he storms out of the office?
No, I just got out really quickly, but that was it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or half baked when he leaves the burger place.
Yeah, I wasn't like that.
That was a good goodbye scene too.
Yeah.
Can we have some references that I would know?
Half baked?
No, I'm joking.
Cool. We don't know any of your shows, dude. I couldn't come quick. So,
Dope. So, what is what does that mean? Right, you're out on your own. So, what does that mean as far as like probate, business-wise? Are you focusing more on just probate? Are you doing everything that you were doing before, working in the other offices?
It's funny when you ask that. So, I felt like what I was doing for the past 6 months, nothing changed when I went on my own. I felt like I was already doing it where I was. I just was having the firm do all the accountings and all like the smaller stuff, right? And I was kind of managing the leads. So really nothing kind of changed. Like nothing changed in sense of my business. I just think that now that I'm on my own, it's a heightened sense of like, we got to do this. We got to grind. We got to get going. It's no different than what you all do, right? You're always looking for leads. You're like, what's next? What's happening? And I already had that mindset. So it's not so much law. It's this mindset of like, you know, you got to have an assistant, paralegal. I got a marketing team. You got to make sure everybody's getting paid before you do, right? That's a big thing. Making sure your employees are getting paid even before you. That's a whole other thing that I'm learning, right? So you got to grow to that point. But as far as just constantly doing it, G, yeah, I'm finding that the probates I'm enjoying a lot more than even some of the other stuff, right? Beginning, I started my practice. It was like door law. Everything that came in the door, I did. And I don't really like that.
Door law,
yeah.
No, never heard that.
Yeah.
it's like Dorla the Explorer.
Could be, right?
Yeah.
So
It's exactly
every
like
once
Is
or
that one
twice
that
a
you
show,
get? You get that one.
you will
I
have
know
a
who
dad
that
joke.
is.
That was one of his dad jokes for the show.
So he made
Well,
it.
he's trying to get
Hey,
something that I
Al,
would
you ever see a
reference,
flipper
you know?
get stabbed? Do you want to?
Wait, UFC was just here, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So door law, you didn't like that?
No, I didn't like that at all.
Okay.
Because it was things I didn't want to do, right? So when I first got here, you know, I was starting to do other weird stuff, maybe deeds and, you know, some contract review, and I just didn't like that. I couldn't find a rhythm. And then I figured out to stick with probate. You know, probate. And I told everybody the other night, right? Why do I like probate? Is because we do it, we get it done, we knock it out, the end. That's it.
Yep. That's why you prefer probate over even quiet title. You'll do quiet title, but you prefer probate because quiet title can drag and has all this whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, that's awesome.
In your business, like you
So-
guys, they talked about it on the show there.
Yeah.
They talked about how they want to get these things done quickly, right? Like that's your business in Cash Geeks.
Yeah.
You're not looking for a long game. Well, if you're looking for a short game, that's probate. And if you're looking for a long game, it's probate. So basically,
So-
it fits.
You guys are in the same
let's
business.
dig into
Yeah.
that, because not a lot of people, some people when they think probate, before Al came around, and for those that don't know Al, before probate meant dragging out. Probate was
It's a long game.
the long game,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, it's a probate deal. All right, let's, this thing will
buckle
be
in
3 to
and
6
who
months
knows?
before this thing is done.
Dude,
Right?
if you remember, we
I
used
remember.
to avoid probate leads
Correct.
because they had a stigma of taking so long, and we
Correct.
want to burn and turn.
Yeah.
And
Really?
This is years ago. This is probably close to 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just probate had this stigma of taking 2 to 3 months to a year because of the unknown inside of the probate process. And we've had a couple of experiences where they've taken several months. So it's like, shit, I don't even want to target that lead type. I just want to go to people that can sell right now. That's
Yep.
not going to wait. And it really was a transition between learning more and you really coming into the market that
Correct.
helped us to understand that it can be incredibly quick.
Right.
So before the show, you were talking to us about, like, we have a probate that we completed incredibly quick here recently. But even other than that, you talked about your fastest probate. Do you
Right.
want to elaborate on how fast that was and when was that, and maybe a little bit of information on it?
Yeah, so I think my fastest time I ever had before that one was Clay County. I think I filed it like on a Thursday, got a court order on a Friday, right? Done. Like
Nice.
couldn't believe it, right? Like, and I hustle on these things, right? Like I'm not here to dilly dally, and I'm very open about that. Yeah, like even Gary heard it at the presentation the other day. Like
Yeah.
I'm not here to just kind of like sit around. Like I move and I shake and I do it, right? So the fastest
Move
one.
and shake for me, Al.
Yeah, So
It's at the after-hour show.
yeah, there you go. So at that time it was one day, and then I picked up another one, and this was a crazy story. So investor had a probate property he was working on since June of 2020. The lawyer had the file for 6 months, and I had networked with that investor back in June. I think we did a Zoom because at that time it was like, if you could do a Zoom networking thing, it was great. So 6 months later, he reaches out and he's like, "It's still not done." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's still not done? Like it hasn't even started yet." And I'm like, so he's hanging on to a probate, hasn't started it yet, deal is still open, nothing happening. He goes, "Yeah, you want to take a shot?" I'm like, "Absolutely. Like, if I see the hole, I'm taking it. I'm going for it, right? Go for the
Yep,
kill."
yep.
So
Go for the hole, Al.
Go for the hole, right? The probate hole. So
Great motto in life.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
go
you
for
just
the
go
opening.
for it. Go for it. I took it. So I got the file. I looked at it, and I'm like, "What's this guy doing?" Like, it was just 2 heirs. Mom dies like in 2004. They already did a probate back in where, I don't know, it was Illinois or Ohio. And I was like, "Let's do it." They both signed everything we needed, and it was no issues whatsoever. File it like on a Thursday at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and sent everything in, and back, at 4 p.m. the same day, I got the court order. So fastest it was probate 2 hours.
What can you imagine, or maybe was the delay with the other party?
It's because it's laziness. So like the more I'm seeing this is laziness.
Okay.
I think
Tell me how
so.
you
Are they
really
also
feel.
overloaded?
Super lazy. No, I think what's happened, and somebody, I don't know who told me this. I think it was Adam the other night. Adam, I think, said to me, "It's like most lawyers when they do probate, it's like, oh, we can do that. We can do a probate.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm coming in and I'm like, no, I do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get it done, and it's like, no, I do this thing. Like, let's rock it.
Yeah.
And another investor called me today. They're like, the lawyer's taking 2 months on a one heir. One heir. And they're like, what can we do? I'm like, welcome to this world of like, why y'all come to me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is exactly why it is.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a game plan for doing it, but they're just
Yeah.
taking so long. But fastest ever, 2 hours. It was land deal, small county. So small counties are really interesting in the world of probate because a lot of these owners have held on to it a long time, but not a lot of people reach out to these people in these small counties.
Right,
So
right,
small
right.
county probate's really interesting. Clay, Bradford, Columbia County's awesome for probate. Love that for probate.
It's Georgia, right?
What,
Basically.
what does that mean that you love it for probate? Probates are easy, simple,
Faster.
fast.
The process is a little bit, you don't have to do so much paperwork. So like if you do a probate in Miami, they got a checklist. They want you to do this affidavit. It's a lot of work, right? In Tampa, there's a couple extra paperwork. But then you go to the small counties, it's like this, boom,
Just
done.
show up to the judge's house. Yo, can
What's
you
up,
sign
Clarence?
this for me?
Judge Clarence,
Al's
let's go.
knocking on the back window. Clink,
Yeah.
clink, clink,
Come
clink,
on,
clink.
let's get it done.
That's awesome.
How is
Yeah.
Duval County?
Oh, it's great.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
Smooth.
for
You got a
the
system.
viewers,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, for sure. Duval's amazing.
Okay,
Cool.
so let's get into probate,
Okay.
right? So you get a file,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or when should somebody contact you to start probate?
I think a couple different ways. One, when you pull title and you didn't think that there needed to be a probate. So I don't do any closings, so that's why I specialize in the niche of probate. So like when you line up a deal or you get under contract with the seller, right? And then you're like, hey, we didn't know that mom died, dad died. So you go to title, they pull it, it says probate. Or they tell you when you're, I'm not going to use the right term, when your team goes out there to door knock or look at the lead, right? And then they tell you, yep, this is where mom died, dad died. Those are the ones where you hear those situations. It's like, what happens? That's like the other one that we just did, right? Where it was just really simple, wife and daughter. And they were told, like, you know, that this thing wasn't going to get done for a while. And so they just were like, here's what we got to do. We need this, we need this, we need this. Let's knock it out. Yeah. So it's a lot of what you're finding either through your list, your tax delinquent list, right, your pre-foreclosure list. But if there's no probate yet, that's where I come into play.
It's funny because ever since we started engaging with you and doing business with you, it is like embedded in my mind now that when I hear leads come in and a seller's talking to one of my sales guys on the line and like, oh, they're overthinking this probate thing. They already have someone engaged. They're waiting 2 months. They're trying to get it done. I feel almost exactly like you feel when you hear these situations because I could see your expression in my mind. And then I start going, what? Like, what? Like,
What I
there's
think
no
of-
way on God's green earth that it should
That's
take
the
that
one
long.
right there. What?
What I think of when I hear them, I think of
And then I start
Al
to
like
question.
this, and then like this.
Come to me, probate.
Right. Like that.
I look
Come to me, probate.
I look like the guy on the airplane talking,
No,
right? You know, he's just kind of like,
You're like, so there's,
this.
how was it? It was first this way, then this way.
Yeah, so spouse. So no will, right? No will.
Dude,
you do
this is
spouse, right? So you look like, and then you go down,
It's
right?
like the
'Cause-
YMCA.
I feel like I'm leading the airplane.
Going down.
And then
So
you go,
spouse,
so spouse, right? You do spouse.
kids.
And this is how I remembered it
All
for
right.
the bar
Yeah,
exam.
Let's let him do it. Spouse. Let's
This
do
is
it.
okay. So
Spouse.
spouse, right?
Spouse.
Everybody do it together. Ready? So
Spouse.
spouse, right? And then we go down, right?
Down.
So we go kids, no
Kids.
kids, grandkids, no
No
grandkids,
grandkids.
great grandkids.
great
Okay.
grandkids.
Yeah, it can happen.
Go,
I'm going
go all the way
down.
down.
Oh, it can go
You
all the way down. Lineal,
down.
right? Go down. And
Okay.
then none of those go up.
Okay.
So parents,
Parents.
grandparents, great grandparents.
Okay.
And then none of those go out.
Out.
So brothers and sisters,
Oh, we're not doing YMCA.
Right?
Okay.
nieces and nephews, aunts and uncles.
Is this really a thing?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I was doing
This is
YMCA.
Al's
We're not
thing.
doing YMCA.
Yeah,
So
no.
spouses,
This is how you remember.
kids.
This is how you remember what
Wow.
happens on the
We're
phone
here.
call.
Is there anything after this?
Yeah, so we're at
lost
Siblings.
so there was nieces,
Nieces,
nephews, aunts,
aunts,
uncles.
uncles.
It keeps going down
So
on
nieces-
the
It's always
chart.
down before it goes up.
It's always down, up, and then eventually it can go out again. But then if there was a spouse that died before the other spouse, then you got to go down their maternal line too. Yeah, we can go down like a whole rabbit hole of genealogy things too. But this is what helps you for being on the
We
phone.
had some silly concepts with like embryos and things like that.
Yeah, you had a crazy question about some embryo that was on another planet and they came back and they had 10 kids and you're like, whose kids
Dude, I
are they?
remember the
I was like,
stupidest thing.
yeah, it was wild.
No, but it was legit, bro. It was legit.
It was it.
I didn't know how to answer. I had no idea.
All right,
It
so
was something like an in vitro embryo that's stored. Whatever.
It has rights or
So-
no? Anyway,
you
I don't want to get down
You
that
get the
rabbit hole.
contract first. Is
I
that
think
what you're saying?
I think you find out what the story is. So like Dom the other day called me, and I like that, right? Like I would rather you kind of find out what's going on because that now you know, is this an alive lead or is this a dead lead, right? You wanted to know an ancillary probate, but in terms of contract, you're not
No, probate's dead.
well.
Alive dead.
Yeah, I'm a probate attorney. I can talk to you about it to death. So
Oh,
I got them.
another dad joke.
Dun-dun-dun.
Marisol would be proud.
I got them all out. But when Dom called, Dom was asking about, an ancillary, like well, I don't know if he knew it was ancillary, but the person died out of state, right? And then they have property here in state. And now what's the story here? Do we have to open it back up out of state? So before you really get to contract, you got to find out the story. So what I've learned a lot lately is investors will call and they'll be like, hey, how much? What's the quote? I'm like, whoa. This could be a complete wackadoo
Sounds like
mess.
an investor.
Well, look, I get it. You want to factor in the price because the price is going to make a difference whether you get and lock up the deal. Right. But you got to know the story. And that's why I do the whole, thing, because then you're thinking who's around and what's going on. Because if you start finding out there's brothers and sisters, it's a mess. I could tell a story for days.
Dude, all I can think of is when Dom calls Al about a property, Al's on the phone on speaker. He's like, all right, do they have any spouses? Okay, any kids? This is what there we go. This is what I think of Al in the office. All right, what about nieces? All right, so.
Al does it so fast, though, he flies away.
That's true.
Flies away. I'm out of here. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Is it on video, though?
What?
Your dance?
No, I don't have it.
Can you make it?
Maybe it could be a TikTok. I don't know.
Can you do like a TikTok or something?
I'll think about it.
People want to see the video with subtitles of what it is, so we can all learn.
Look at the passion.
That anagram.
The passion of the
I think
Gary.
Gary just
dude,
gave me
you
a
would go
TikTok.
viral with that, bro.
No, I'm
Versus
serious.
the-
I'm trying to help you out here
so-
because I think this is awesome.
I mean, I could see it. I know you want me to do it.
I do.
I know. Like it was
I'm
very
encouraging
clear.
you.
He's like, let's do it now.
Right now.
Yeah. Come on, Warren.
So a question always comes up, right, with the guys on properties in Jamie's name, right? But Jamie is deceased.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking to the daughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? So who signs the contract? Who do we put on the contract? What do you need to get started?
I mean, at the end of the day, first ask, is this the primary residence, right? Was this homestead property?
Number one.
Yeah, number one, was this where they lived and resided? Forget about the tax exemption on homestead property. It's not about a tax exemption. It's good proof, right? It's good proof, but not always. They may not claim it. So always ask primary residence. And if you find out mom dies, only daughter, ever, right? That's something that 2020 taught me too. How many kids ever? Not just how many are alive now. Like I picked up the lead the other day and they told the title company she was the only child. Yeah, alive. Only to find out there was like 4 other kids that died after mom. That's 5 probates, right? So ever. So if you find out only daughter ever, you can grab it under contract with her. Bring it to title. Run title because title commitments can be your best friend when you find out, wait a second, we didn't know there had to be 3 other probates before this one.
Right.
Because people are doing their deeds all the time. I mean, people are, I think I saw at Office Depot 2 weeks ago, there's like a whole section of real estate forms. And and I'm just like, wait a second, they sell deeds, they sell contracts, like this is where people are doing their stuff, like, and then they're going to record it.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Can't, don't do that.
If she has a will, though, does that supersede? You don't need to do probates, right? You're talking about no will.
Talking about no will. Wills don't avoid probate. So even if they have a will and they're fanning it to you like we don't have to do anything, it doesn't matter. Because the idea is that the will isn't until it is.
I remember that.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we did that at the last
Yeah,
Cash Geeks thing,
It
right?
isn't until
Till
it
it
is.
We had
I thought
an
he
office-
wasn't there
we
at
had
the
an
last
office
Cash.
training.
No,
It
we
isn't.
did a
We had an office training.
we did an office training.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Dude, we need to do another one.
I'm game. I'm ready.
You know what? Call everybody. Bring them in right now.
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had an
ABC.
office training. That's where we came up with that crazy scenario with the embryo.
Yeah. It was on Mars and it went to Jupiter and it came back. And
I think every time we talk about it, Al adds a little.
Add the planet.
He adds a new planet every time.
but that's what's happening, right? This is the bottom line with what's going on in probate.
So the one that we're referring to, one of the ones that we're referring to that we recently just completed the probate on, that was super fast too. That was what, days, right?
That was, I think it was 3 days.
Aldridge.
3
yeah.
days?
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah. So basically, I think it was just a spouse and a daughter.
Spouse,
Dude,
yes, spouse and daughter.
So the buyer for this deal calls us and he's like, "Yo, can you get us an update on the probate?" And we're like, "Yeah." Like he was like, "Has probate been started? You know where we're at?" So I call Al. I'm like, "Yo, Al, where are we at in the probate?" He's like, "Oh, it's done." I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's
What?
He's like, yeah. He's like,
What?
He's like, I gotta send
I
an email
finished all of them
out.
so fast, I forget to call people back.
He's like, I gotta send an email to the title company, but it's all done. And then
And you
It's
went to the
funny.
buyer and you're like, guess what? You're dealing with cash key 'cause that's it done.
It's done, baby.
Get it done.
Yeah.
It's funny on the front end side. One of my sales guys, Alex, is talking to the lady, has some great conversations. Then she ghosts him for a few days. Then he gets her back on the line. She gets frustrated with him, hangs up on him. Then she won't take his call, and he texts her, and she says something outlandishly offensive to him. And then he offers her $10,000 more. And then 2 days later, she signs. She's happy with him. I totally apologize. I'm going through all this stuff. She's overthinking the whole process. 2 days later, she signs, right? And then we send it over. And I don't really know what happened when you guys engaged with Al on the probate, but then it went to your guys' side. You guys got the probate. It went through super quick. Before I know it, the probate's done. We're hearing about it because...
Is this last year?
What do you mean?
Was this the one you're talking about? Was this last
This
year?
is Aldridge.
Oh, this was Aldridge.
This is Aldridge.
I was thinking that this was going to be even the one.
No, this
last
is
year.
the one that just
that's
happened a couple days
crazy.
ago.
Nice.
Yeah, so all that happened on the front end. On the front end, we did contract it. You guys got it. Dispo got involved, and they got with you, and then we got the probate underway, and so we originally had it agreed to 100,000. We went up to 110 to get her
Gary's
back under
like, how come
contract.
I didn't see
We
this
wind up
deal?
asking her for a price reduction and got it back to 100,000.
Yep.
So
Wow.
Aldridge Road North, by chance?
So she didn't want to agree to that,
Yes.
but
No way. Seriously?
Are you doing the work on it?
No, my mom lives next door. I think if it's the one, this guy just
we
died.
won't use house numbers right now to protect the
Aldridge-
innocent.
Yeah,
like-
right.
We got to protect the innocent.
We got to
Name of the street's pretty.
No,
good.
I literally have a sign on her yard, carry by houses. That's all right.
There
whatever.
you go.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not that house. I'm thinking
I mean,
of.
but that's amazing. 3 days. 3 days on a probate.
Look.
I would have never, before the life of Al, I would have never
life of Al.
believed that they should normally get done that quick.
And I think
Right.
investors are starting to realize that more and more.
Correct.
Like I had a call today, and they're wondering why is it taking 2 months?
Right.
You know, and what's happened is maybe I've gotten people a little spoiled, right? But they're realizing because they see what I'm doing, they see what's happening out in the world, and the laziness of what's happening. You know,
Next thing on this topic of being able to do the probates, being able to do them extremely quick, high quality services that we're getting from you. You talked about, you named your company the Law Offices of Al Nicoletti.
yeah,
Plural, because this is not going to be the last office that you open.
Right.
You're trying to scale. You're going to scale.
right.
It's going to
right.
happen.
It's gonna happen.
Right? Are you worried about losing that quality of speed?
It's something I've thought about, right? So
I mean, you got to create mini-me's, mini-Al's, and
so nobody's
there
gonna
is going to be a challenge, right?
Mini Letty.
So nobody's gonna be able to. I don't know. I think I'm unique when it comes to the marketing side. So I'm like, if anything, I'm gonna shift to that more, right? And so I just gotta find grinders on,
probate
being obsessed with the probate side, right? So what do I mean being obsessed? I don't know.
Legals.
Is there like a book on that? But like being obsessed means you
Obsessed or be average, or
Be
what?
obsessed or be
obsessed or
average.
be
Okay,
average.
good. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah.
Okay, so if you saw me some nights, I'm literally at the computer refreshing the portal system for things
Oh.
coming in. I'm
Portal. Okay,
Another dad joke.
No. All right.
we'll skip that.
Okay.
I don't get that either.
I don't
So
know.
you're refreshing.
No, like I'll refresh it, right? Or like the next day I'll add things to the calendar. So there's a mentality that you have to have where you're just constantly thumping it.
So what does that mean? The refreshing the portal, like you're
Just-
just looking for an update on a on a status. or
yeah. I
something?
mean, not like every 5 seconds, but
Right,
I'm on it.
F11.
You know,
F11.
it's
Yeah.
adding things to the
Refresh,
calendar.
refresh.
Now you just need one of these wireless
Yeah.
remotes, and you can keep refreshing while you walk around the office.
We'll refresh right
It's
now.
how I bought my PS5 on Walmart.
See,
F11.
like, look at Corey, right? He goes, I have a deal going 6 months now. Like, my question is, number one, why? Like, what? Like, look, every probate's different. There could be litigation going on with the heirs, right? There could be things happening that we don't know about.
We're doing one right now. It's gonna
It's a
drag
little,
up.
different.
But
it's
for
a
some
great
reasons,
strategy, though.
Right.
It's a great strategy.
But I'm saying though that it is a probate. It's taken longer for the strategy, so you never know the particulars. But
it's almost a selling point because it's going to happen.
yeah,
Rather than they're worried about creditors or worried about stuff.
Correct.
Gary and I are basically kind of going through a potential one that's.
So you guys are talking like an inside joke.
hey, listen, you don't give me the
I know.
addresses either, bro.
Not filling us.
I ain't giving you this address.
Hey, really quick, based on Corey's scenario, he's got a deal going 6 months now. It's a probate deal, obviously. And what do people that feel like they're trapped like that do? Do they have the option to switch over to someone like an Al Nicoletti? Or are they tied up in some type of agreement with the prior attorney?
That depends, right? Like, what are the attorney's fees on that side, right? Like, what is that arrangement? But if they're unhappy, they can voluntarily choose to do what they want to do. Just because you sign up with a lawyer, it's like a contract, but I mean, it's not like you can get out, right? There's a way to get out, but
Is
if
there
you're
a
unhappy,
retainer that they pay these guys sometimes?
it could.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Maybe
it's different. Some lawyers want a $1,500 retainer.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe they feel like they're too deep in
Right.
to get out.
Sunk costs is the economic.
So I think one option, and
I called Al about this. They already paid, and I'm still trying to transfer over
Yep.
to you.
Just
what we-
lazy.
just what we
Lazy.
said. Yeah.
Well, here
And-
another thing is they already paid the other guy, so they may be trying. Like, when you go 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, it almost feels like sometimes you think you're at the tail end because of what the attorney or someone on the other end is feeding you. So you think you're there, and then there's another month, and then there's another month. So
It's like my rehabs.
in this case, if they don't want to pay more money to another attorney for probate, if there's enough spread, like if it was us, we would probably pay your fee just to switch it to you and get the deal done instead of waiting another 3 months or 6 months. So Corey, if there's a spread there, that might be an option for you.
And I don't look. The investor can pay as long as the client consents. Doesn't really matter where the money's coming from. The client consents to it,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, you have to gauge each of those like weird ones where they're locked up with a lawyer one by one, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever encountered that before. I think one that may be happening in the works, but that's always up to them.
And have we ever moved a deal from one attorney over to Al that you recall?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Everything's been pretty organic.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that deal?
Which one?
The one that you like
Absolutely crushed.
killed it, crushed it,
The double?
slayed it, obsessed with it.
The double?
The double, and guess what I said to the wholesaler? Oh, we didn't realize it's got to be probate. I said, what did I say? I said, call Al Nicoletti.
So I learned something at the end of last year. I will always pick up the phone on vacations, holidays, and weekends. And because I did that twice, so I got more phone calls from December 25th to January 1st, 2nd, 3rd than I did all of November. I think I got 7, 8 calls, like all in 1 week.
Do you think people were looking for attorneys, couldn't find any? You were one of the ones that picked up?
Well, that's great because I'm going on vacation in November this time, for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and the phone's
I
gonna be
think they're
totally
just at
open.
the family reunion, and they're just like, all right, screw it, let's sell the house, call Al Nicoletti, let's figure this out.
You're like, I can't stand
That's
you
where
people
they're at,
anymore. I'm
yeah.
going to get away.
I don't know what happened, but I picked up like
You should go reunion hopping,
maybe a good
I think they
idea.
made a movie about that.
like a reunion.
You were saying,
crasher.
Al, about our deal.
So that one came up, I think around the 26th, 27th. They were in a panic, in a crazy mode about we got to get this done.
So that's a good example of calling Al after you run title, you don't expect probate, boom, you need probate.
We thought we did a deed correctly. We thought when we did the refinance in 04,
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to have this issue. We
Yeah.
thought.
We
get
were a
those
week
all the
away
time.
from closing or something, and
yeah.
it was like, yeah.
And she called me, and I know exactly where I was, and I took a notepad, and I said, give me the story. And I saw the title, and it was two deceased people on it, right? And so I broke down the first one, and I did the second line. The first line was easy because there was one adult child with a will, right? And then the second one, what we found out was that they didn't primarily live there. They had a spouse when they died, but there were kids that weren't of the spouse. And so going deep in the probate world, it was 50-50 of a 50%. So it was like a 50, it was like a 25 of a 50% of a whole.
Right.
Right? So it was really complicated.
Right.
And so the first question they said was, when can you do this and how can you do this and get it done? So I said, I got to get the will. I got to get everything. I need to see if it's an original, what's happening. So I don't know how it came into the picture that you were in it, but I think I got a call like that first week.
I was buying it, an assignment. It was a realtor was selling it as a pocket deal to a wholesaler who flipped it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was AJ Golden.
Okay.
And
Mr.
I talked to
AJ.
AJ and I said, okay, let's
AJ.
call Al and let's get this done. So he relayed to the realtor, I think, who coached the sellers. But it was kind of like, all right, we didn't freak out about it. We just called Al, and that's probably a
Don't
good
freak
slogan.
out. Call Al.
Right, that's a
Right,
good slogan,
right.
right?
There you
Tagline
go.
there.
Got probate, don't freak out, call Al.
Yeah, I'll put that on the website.
All
now.
right, so
There you
I don't
go.
want a little piece of that, but and he jumped right on it, right? And this was something that could take a month or two, and I think he got it done in 2 weeks.
2
right?
weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
I think you were wondering like what it was going to take, and then I think I got the orders, and I told you it was going to take another
and you
4
submitted
months.
both at the same time to save time.
Same time. Oh, actually, it was strategic, right? So there's always a strategy to some of these things, right? Especially the one that'll come down the pipe eventually. But
Smarter.
their strategy, getting creative with it, you got to play it out one by one, right? So some of them are easy and some of them are a little more complicated. You just got to work through them. How many are there? Who's around? Asking all the big questions. You got to always ask how many ever there are when there's no will. Ever.
And people think it's going to be easy, and then they go to sell the house or something, and then again they freak out. So,
They freak out.
and they should just call Al as soon as they figure it. So
That was the second one we worked on too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was back in 2020, and that was crazy too, because that's when the courts shut down first time.
I was
and
Hunter, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
I was
Yeah,
Hunter. Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
everything shut down,
Yeah.
and I remember Gary's like, "What's happening? What's happening?
Well,
and then it was like, boom, done.
they wholesale it to me.
Oh, nice. It was a deets?
I was booking you on behalf of them, actually.
No, we had no idea what the court system was like back
Correct,
then.
yeah.
You know?
Hunter was during COVID?
Yeah.
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 Dang. Okay.
4 weeks. COVID.
4 weeks COVID.
With an asterisk.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
So, but Al doesn't just do probate. He'll go to jail to get the deal done. So we had
Like
we
he'll
had,
get arrested?
Yeah. So Al, there was a deal that we had. That probate. Well, after the probate was done, we still needed to get like some freaking death certificate. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
From like Pennsylvania.
Yes.
It took forever.
That
But-
that was something I was like not expecting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But it happens.
It happens. Yeah. Basically, the siblings and the heirs had no idea where their mom died, so they didn't know what state she had died in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a total guess.
It was crazy. And so Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But once we got it, we went to your office to
Is
get
it a Saturday? I'm trying to think because nobody was there that day, and I remember they like showed up. Like the meeting was supposed to be at 4. They showed up at
like,
1.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember.
And then you called the office like, yo, they're here.
They're
I was like,
here.
"All
They're
right, gotta
here.
go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where's G?" I'm like in the back room, like I'm not doing anything without G here. You know,
man.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That was funny.
I gotta
So-
know when you came in that office that day. Like you gotta explain it to everybody out there.
Dude, this was crazy.
This was crazy. So like you gotta tell everybody the G perspective on
Ooh.
how did it like
G-spective.
what was that moment where I sat down, everybody sat down to talk about the whole thing, but it was like that Al Nicoletti, like, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, is everybody in?
So so I get to Al's office and
Saturday, right?
I think it was a Saturday. Wow. I think it was a Saturday.
Yes, nobody was there.
Yep. And no, I don't think it was a Saturday. I think it was a Friday, but that was like a holiday. Some sort of
Okay.
holiday.
Okay.
That's not really like a holiday, but it is like where everything's shut
Crazy.
down except for Cash Geeks.
Yeah.
So one of those
Like
holidays.
Christmas.
You'll never shut us down.
Christmas.
It's like Christmas, yeah.
Like a
one of
holiday,
those-
but not a real
One of those
holiday.
federal holidays that we
Yeah.
still work on.
So, well, as soon as I get there, I had never met the seller or anybody. I had never talked to anybody.
First
They
time
just
showing
send
up
me,
at my
yeah, they
office.
just send me, and they're just like, "Yo, the seller's
G,
gonna
go
go
figure it out."
sign." So when I get there, it was a property that a gentleman had passed away, and the wife and his son and their kid was going to inherit it, right? So the wife and the son were inheriting the property, and property was a teardown, complete teardown, and we were battling with the city also because they were getting liens and liens and liens, but I sit down and meet everybody, and Al just starts to, just the spiel of what probate is going to be like and everything. And then Al, I knew this was going to go down when Al asked this question. I just had this feeling. And Al was just like, so how are we splitting this? And I was like, oh, shit, dude. You just know, right? Sometimes with the people that you do this kind of business with. So Al's like, so how's it going down? And then the son was like, oh, I can say how much I want. He was like, I want half of it. We're splitting half of it. And then the mom was like, I don't even remember the dude's name.
I think she was like, no, we're not.
Yeah, she was like, no, we already talked about this. Like, she just started getting like loud and like mad. She was like, we already talked about this. You're not getting, you haven't done anything, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he was like, nah, man, that's my dad's house too. I'm going to get half of it, whatever. And then Al, I don't know, you were like, okay, real quick, how old are you? And he asked the lady her age, and he was like, all right, but because you're this age, let me stop.
Cordita?
Because you're this age, we can do it another way, right? I don't know exactly what all
life
you
estate.
said. The life estate.
Date of death was less than 6 months.
Yeah.
So the spouse had the right to choose if they wanted a bigger share or not.
Right, and he was like, if you go down this route, you'll get like 80% or something like that, right?
So you dropped some knowledge
See,
on
I
the calm the
remember- I
situation
remember.
down, right?
I just know for certain, like I told you before, G, I just know that I bet when you walked out of that meeting, you were like, whoa, what just happened?
Like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I mean, I
Well,
get,
it was about to go down.
but I'm like, no, it's either this, that,
right,
or
right.
what's happening. Like, I'm not in for the whole, okay.
Jerry
man,
Springer.
It just happened quick. It was just
quick.
like he was getting mad. They were about to go at it, and then Al was just like, "All right, hold on. How old are you?" And then she's like, "I'm this age." And he was like, "Okay, well, you can go this route, and if you go this route, he only gets 20%." And she's like, "All right." And he was just there mad.
Yeah, his eyes were as big as the moon.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
just there like super mad. And I didn't even know if he was gonna sign. Like he had to sign something else.
Oh, I
Like,
don't
He had to
know.
sign something there. In order to start the probate
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
The retainer form and all this stuff or some
it's
stuff.
just getting everybody on board, right? The whole idea was everybody
and
was
so,
on
like,
board.
Al, like, goes to his office, he prints it out, he gives it to me, and then I gotta go, and I'm just like, all right, man, this is where you sign. And
should
he's
have your
just
own
like,
reality
whatever, he
TV show,
signs
bro.
it.
Well, the Al Nicoletti show is every Wednesday at
yeah.
8 p.m. with
But-
Select Monday. So
Well, I understand that. I love you plugging your show as well, but I'm just saying, as far as just some of these meetings, with consent, of course, that would be kind of fun.
I mean, it's really interesting. Every
Yeah, once
one
they
of them.
leave,
gotta
hey,
blur some
sign
faces,
this waiver, and I'll give you
bleep
$500
some
so you can put this on
addresses.
TV.
I could see the jump edits.
Would
though, to that
probates go
moment.
wrong, or like extreme probate? That'd be a fun show.
Yeah,
Extreme
yeah.
probate.
I mean, I was even thinking, Mike and I were
Nicoletti
talking
TV.
probate
Let's go.
after dark. Well, I mean,
Probate After Dark.
Probate After Dark.
Al
After
Nicoletti
Dark.
TV.
yeah,
We got all sorts of ideas.
what is
man.
Probate After Dark without Nicoletti.
stories of the crypt.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
yeah, man, so laid it down, and then it just got done. And then, but that's not the
No,
best
that's-
part.
no, that's the first part.
Yeah, the best part is while we're waiting for this freaking death certificate, homeboy gets locked up, the son. And then we finally get it. We don't know that he's in jail, right? We finally get the death certificate. We're like, fuck yeah,
gotta sign
we're
it.
ready to go. It's been, we got the probate done. We're like battling with the city so that they don't tear down the freaking house. And then we get the death certificate. We're like, we're ready to go. And then the mom is like, oh, well, such and such is in jail. And we're like, what the hell? And then because of COVID, it's not easy to get inside. So they're like, yeah, they're only letting attorneys in. So we're like, shit, do we call Al? So we call Al.
Don't freak out. Call Al.
So we call Al. We're like, yo, we think they might let you in because you're the attorney of the probate. So they might just,
Just show me your Florida bar card, dude. It's like, right, you just get right in.
That
right?
was the first time I ever had to show my Florida bar card.
Did you?
Yeah?
Yeah,
You
and
did
you
have
know-
to show it.
I did.
I knew it.
And you know what? It was amazing that I was carrying it.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's the
A lot
kind
of
of
attorneys don't.
I mean, but that's the kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, I'll just say this. I keep it in my wallet now all the time.
Right.
But it was one of those things that's like a hotel card, right? You throw it in the drawer and like
Right.
you eventually when you clean out the drawer, it's like, oh, good, I got my bar card. No, now I have it with me, and it was crazy that day. I felt confident, pulled out, so it's there. But that was pretty crazy because that was the first week on my own, and I think that's when I got
First week on his own, going to jail.
Yeah, it felt like Better Call Saul, right? It felt like that was my setup. It was like I gotta
They
go.
said that. Did you see that?
What?
Your tagline is better call Al.
Yeah, right.
Better
Mark,
call
right?
Al.
Yeah, Better
Mark
call out.
Marcellus, Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
I got some funny stuff
Yeah,
here. We got to go
yeah.
over the notes.
That's how it was, man. And then
Your wife's blowing it up, man.
And then I showed up.
Yep.
So I showed up I had no idea where I was. Never showed up at the Duval County Jail ever.
Yep, yep.
And I remember out the window, I'm like, is this where it's supposed to be? So went in, went up the stairs, and they wanted to know, like, do you want to see that? I was like, no,
Yep.
I'm here are the papers.
Yep.
Go forth and do what you got to do. And that was it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden papers come in,
Yeah.
and then I didn't know if the title company needed originals or not, but I was in such a mode that day. I was like, something tells me they need it. I picked up the phone and I'm like, y'all need originals? And like, yes. I'm like, I'm driving there now. So I drove to the title company and I'm like, no joke. Here they are, like hand delivered,
Wow.
done.
Yeah.
You know, that was like that day. I'm like, this thing is getting done now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
when I found
Better
out the.
call Al.
But it's
love
funny. I
it.
feel like all your days are like that. All your cases are like that. It's
Yeah,
like
I'm revved up.
we're in, we're getting it done, over.
Yeah.
Like we don't want this thing dragging on. You just want it done, complete. Nothing's sitting on Al.
No.
No.
I want to move things. I want to move it. The ones that are.
Al likes to move it, move it.
Al likes to
Move it, move it. Al likes to move it, move it.
Do the dance. Come on,
Oh,
buddy.
are we going?
Do the dance.
Do the
Stop.
dance. Give me some
Down.
airs,
What is
baby.
going on
Give
here?
me some aunts and uncles.
Warren, find me a new show.
All right, ladies, nieces, uncles,
Nieces, uncles, knees, and toes. Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Cool, man. Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, I think the motto here is Al works quick.
Al works quick.
Efficiently.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is efficiency.
Okay, so basically you're working the system the way it should be worked.
Sure.
Yeah, the way
Yeah.
it can be worked.
Right. Because it's the focus. Right. Like if I did title and I did all the other types of law, I'd be so bogged down. Right. That's why people come to me and they're like, hey, can you review the contract? Can you do a land trust? Can you do this? And I'm like, if I start doing that, I take away from the
Right.
probates.
Right,
Right.
right,
So
right.
I don't want to ever deviate from the very thing that has gotten me where I am.
Now I'll say this though, you're gonna expand to the law offices, right? Are you always gonna focus on probate, or are you gonna do ancillary things like title, like quiet title, like other stuff?
Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
Hey man, people gotta die.
Your specialty is probate, but
probate. Right.
do you do other things as well once you get big enough?
We'll see.
Okay.
But I think the focus
now.
is the focus is probate.
Yeah.
Focus is the partition stuff. We talked about that at the last show meeting,
Yep.
right? Forcing the sale. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we talked about some really interesting things about partitions and stuff. But we'll see where things go. I think probate. What I love about it, we get it done, we move it quick, and what we were going to talk about, waiting until the end to get paid. Right. So a huge selling point is the fact that I can wait until a closing to get paid. Right? So it's a huge bonus
Yeah.
for people that don't have to front the $1,500, the $2,000 up front before anything gets started.
Yes.
You know?
So how does that work in a typical situation? So, I mean, a lot of times people are selling their properties to us, because they're short money, right? They need to sell, they need to get their equity out, they need to pay their bills off, change their lives, whatever the case may be. And they don't even have a couple grand, which is what it might take to either pay for the probate or retain the probate. So you have your part of your solution can be to wait until the closing to get paid.
Correct.
Wait until the seller's proceeds come through to
Or,
get paid.
or it's the buyer paying, right? Like there's been times where buyer can pay,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? As long as the client consents and understands that they're the client still at the end of the day.
Right.
That's it. So yeah, I mean, you can front it for them or at the back end, you know, doing
And
your
sometimes
thing.
like there's like a couple $100 in the beginning, right, to initiate it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Costs
Right.
costs can be a big killer in the legal world. A lot. I mean, costs are probably a big killer in anything, right? So the costs can be the killer because.
Not for flippers.
No, my wholesale fees.
Oh, all right. We got something on your mind.
Front end costs.
Gotcha.
As they say. Yes.
Tell us how you really feel, Gary.
But those are killers, right?
Right,
Like we want to get those up front if we can, but then waiting until the end is beautiful. They don't have to pay $2,000, $3,000. So it's good to know that stuff for those that are out there.
Right. I mean, you need an arsenal of solutions, and that's just another way to solve a problem. You
Right.
know, maybe they can initiate it with $500, or maybe they don't have a dime to their name, and that's the tool that we have to use to solve that deal, or
Yep.
to get that deal done.
Time
I think
and
it's
money.
amazing. So guys, remember, like, that is a solution that Al can talk to you guys about. If you have a probate deal, seller's short money, you know, and you guys want to build a relationship with Al, that may be a way he can solve your probate problem. So I think that's amazing.
So you change your name, Law Offices of Al Nicoletti. Do you have a new email?
I do.
So what's your new email?
Okay, so when I left that firm, I had that email for like 2 years. Finally had a new email. I was doing the attorney Nicoletti, but now brand new email.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I got a brand new website. Right.
Oh,
so
okay.
what I was going to do is I was going to break out the business cards.
Is it alnicoletti.com?
AlNicoletti.com.
Woo!
Look at that.
Wee!
So I got brand new business cards. Yeah,
feel like we're
yeah.
getting
These are
Present.
the fancy lawyer cards, man.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're getting presents.
Does this get me out of jail free?
It feels like a
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton
You
card.
may, right? You just got to scan it on the back. Keep it, man.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the brand new business cards
Dude, this is
of
like
Al Nicoletti.
velvet, dude. This
And you
is-
know what? It's got a QR code. So I bet if you turned it around and people actually
Oh, they
scan
can
the
put it
QR
on
code,
on the screen right now.
they can
How does
scan
it
it.
look,
Man,
Michael?
one of these days I'm gonna get a card that's nice. This is awesome. I
We
like
all
that.
want
What-
to grow up to be like Al.
What color is
that
that,
good?
Al?
What's that? I don't know. It's like a dark green.
That's a nice color.
Yeah, I bet if they scan that right now, they probably would get it coming up on their phone. That'd be crazy if people were commenting about that too.
Do it.
We got to add the I at the alnicoletti.com.
Hey, you got to add the I at alnicoletti.com. One.
Oh, you did it? Yeah, it works.
It works. Nice.
Dope.
It's good. Yeah, no, I got brand new branding,
Warren spell your
cards,
name wrong?
everything.
I love the feel.
Yeah.
So, new company.
Who
Yeah,
is?
new
You got that
email.
new.
New company.
Is
Who
that,
this?
is that a new number?
Yeah, brand new number.
Ooh.
Yeah, brand new number, brand new email, website. I got the
Awesome.
the practice areas and everything. Yeah, I'm breaking this out, you know. First time.
So how long have you had your show?
So I started how long have I had the show like actually live in public?
No.
Or when did I start it? Period.
Yeah.
I started it like first week of October. And I had like 2 guests on and then I got COVID.
Okay.
So I started the pre-recording and I did more pre-recording in November once I got better, still had that cough going. And then I did a lot of recording in December, but I think I started doing distribution starting in January. So I had more episodes, and
Yep.
now it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube. But the whole show, I'm taking it live now, just because of how much I had backlogged up, and I feel bad because I did so many episodes that some people are going to be waiting in June, July, that I want it to be out there. So I had the Hansons on last week. So the Hansons can be out. It's just that their content's not going to be pushed until October.
Right. So you went live. Your first show live was last week.
Correct.
How did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I love it a lot better because of that aspect of it's about the guest, right? It's not about me being up there. It's about showcasing the guest. And so I want to be able to showcase the guest, boom, from the get-go, So now that video's out there, so they could share it, they could play it. It's just that it won't come out on the major platforms until later. But I also love that I built my own virtual studio. So when I was at the law firm, I was going to build an in-person studio. But then everything kind of rapidly happened. All the things were still in the boxes. I didn't open anything just yet. And all the things were still there. And then when everything went down and got out, I built a virtual studio.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I got the camera set up. I got my table that's ready for in-person whenever I get an office. Or, you know, what's happening now is when I buy a house, I'm just going to have an extra room for an in-person studio at home.
We got a house to sell, Al.
Yeah, let's hear
We
it.
can help you with
You
that.
don't want to pay what they're asking.
It's just too low. You'll feel too bad for us.
Yeah.
That's where
You're
that's
getting
what
a lot of
Gary's getting
renovation.
at.
You're not going to want to buy that one.
Go buy it.
You trying to retain more deals for yourself there, Gary?
He's like, yo, you don't want to buy it. What you got coming up, G?
So,
Um,
so your
what's
first
that
live
address,
show,
bro?
your first live show was last week.
Right.
And how frequently does your show come out? Is it weekly?
So it's going to be every Wednesday, 8 p.m.
Live.
live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Select Mondays here and there to change some things up, add some guests in, so I have more distribution later. That's just a strategy, right?
And then Monday will be live too?
It depends. Some Mondays will be, every Monday will be, every Wednesday will be live. Select Mondays will be live.
Okay.
So no matter what, live from here on out. We're live from here on out.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm not gonna wait and do
It's
pre-recording.
fun too.
Yeah.
The interaction
Yeah.
is fun.
It's
Yeah, talk-
natural. We're doing live right now. I mean, this
Yeah.
is
But I want to see you in the action. I want to see in the field.
doing TikTok videos.
No, like, in action.
Like what? Like a
Like
reality show?
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe we could just grab the gimbal and just do a
No.
reality show.
Let's do it. Let me know. Let's go.
Let's go.
We'll go find some probates in the
Let's
field.
go, champ.
I just love the show.
Some probates in the field.
You know that old tale from the sea? Awesome, man.
I just love the show though, Dom, because it's interviewing the people in Florida, right?
Yeah.
This is not interviewing national. Or maybe I'll get some big people on eventually that are national. But the whole idea is that we're in Florida. Florida's only getting bigger. Florida's only increasing more, bigger population. So you're learning from people that are like, it's hyper focused on community. So it's almost hyper focused on Jacksonville. But now I'm adding the Tampas, the Orlandos, you know. So it's always increasing.
Cool. So the show's live. Al Nicoletti is independent on his own.
And live.
New website, who dis. New logo.
Yeah.
Fancy new cards. I
Yeah.
like the logo too, dude. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, the logo.
The
feel
A
this
and then the
material,
N,
too? This is
and
like
the N for the Al
legit.
Nicoletti.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a suede jacket.
It's amazing.
Stroke the furry wall, as they say. So,
But in addition to that, like you also do your trainings, right? You do online webinars
Right.
and you do appearances and panels and things of that sort. Anything like that coming up soon?
So Thursday night, I'm going to be at Jack's RIA, and I think they're going to do in person up to a certain capacity, and then do like Zoom or I don't know whatever. But I'm going to be at Jack's RIA doing probate, anything and everything
Awesome.
probate. And then after that, I think I'm going to be doing Jackie's monthly meetup.
Cool.
I think in May. I don't know if it's gotten like official yet, but I think I'm going to be doing that. But
where were you last Thursday?
I was at the Real Estate Mentors community meeting with Adam Locklear and Gary Booth, and
It was great.
it was fantastic. Great
You
time.
did a great job. So
Yeah.
um,
We had a lot of fun.
you got to get a plug in there too, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, you're all over the place, man. This is great.
I love explaining this. Like, even at the event that I did, what I'm doing is not to just gloat and tote about the times and the money and everything. It's helping you all, because when you're learning this stuff and you're on the phone or Alex is on the phone and you kind of understand just a little bit more than the open door, the hedge fund that's calling them, you win the lead over them because they have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
That's
True.
the benefit to
Well,
understanding.
yeah,
this.
it's a reciprocation for sure. Yeah, we win the lead and we get to pass it on to you because of the information that you gave us about what you do perfectly.
And
The
they're impressed.
reciprocity of real estate.
And they're impressed. They're impressed that you
That's
understand
Gary's
this.
new show right there. The reciprocity of real estate.
Just rolls off the tongue. Real nice.
Dope. Al, thank you so much for doing this, man.
No, thank you all
I
for having
appreciate
me.
it, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
man.
this is great.
It's awesome.
So we put out your email, your website, alnicoletti.com.
Right?
So reach out to the law offices of Al Nicoletti for all your probate
Law
needs.
offices.
Because it won't be his last office.
It won't be
We're
his
gonna
last
tell you
one.
that
More to
right now.
come.
We're scaling.
And
be
it won't be
continued.
his first probate. So, yeah, man, we're pumped. And you never know when you're going to need Al. So make sure that you get his contact info. Reach out to him now so he saves you in his contact list. And let's do some more probate deals, man. I get excited now when I hear probate because I'm just like, yo, tell that seller it'll be done in no time.
Well, what's cool
We're
about
gonna
it
get this thing closed out. Yeah, man.
What's cool about it too is once you do your first with Al, like, and then you have that line of communication, that open line of communication, like you said, when it comes up, you give him a quick call. Let's
That's it.
figure this out. Let me get this deal locked up so I can send it over to Al.
Yep.
Or let me just learn a little bit more about the probate process or whatever it is to help the seller solve that solution.
I know
and then
when
maybe
you-
we're not going to get it right now, but maybe we will a week from now or a month from now because we gave them the information that they need.
You can just set it. You just set it aside. So much going on. You know that's covered. You don't have to worry about
Yep.
that because Al's got it.
There's nothing like having access to the professionals that you need access to in real time. There's just nothing like it.
Well, I got a call the other day that they were interested in doing a partition, the forcing sale thing. And when they called me, they were so surprised they got a lawyer on the phone. And to me, I'm just like, well, like, what do you mean? They're like, everybody they talked to was a paralegal, a secretary, that they would get a
Right.
call
Oh, that
back.
makes sense.
Yeah, and so they called
true.
me, and they're like, they're so impressed they got to talk to me on the first ring or the second ring. And to
Yeah.
me, that's normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Right,
So
right,
I don't,
right.
in my business,
Yeah.
I can't give up the intake department because that seems to be a sell for me.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
my lady loved you, man. She just nonstop talked about how awesome you were. So, that means a lot.
Yeah, I'm just.
Al, keep being great, Al. We appreciate
Yeah,
having you on, dude.
thanks guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Always,
yeah,
man.
I'm glad you're
Dude.
here. Yeah,
My guy.
I know.
Cool.
All right,
What's
guys.
up, my guy?
So we will see you. Oh, and you're gonna do our meetup in June, right?
Yes.
We pre-booked that.
I know. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm ready to
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
we're
I'm gonna
ready
I'm gonna
to
be on the
go.
hot seat.
Yep.
Yep.
Hot ones panel, right?
Here's the catch. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk to you for an hour about something that's not probate.
Ooh.
Really interesting. Wonder what that's gonna be.
No, I'm kidding.
He's
There's
just
no way
talking
we
about-
can do that.
Let's talk about flipping.
Flipping. Yeah.
No.
Al's first flip deal.
Ooh.
I mean, like, I have no idea what's going on.
But did you die? But did you die?
Did you?
All right, guys. So
cool,
let's.
man. All right, so we'll see you in June at our live meetup.
I'll be there.
We do have our live meetup coming up, guys. It's here locally in Jacksonville, Florida, at the A-Loft. It's May 11th, right? Yeah, May 11th. We're gonna have Kyle Paskowitz. He's gonna be Kyle P
KP.
from
Yellowbird Home Buyers.
He's gonna be talking about building your flipping business, right? So if you know Kyle, he's done thousands of. Dude, I texted Kyle. I was like, "How many deals have you done in Jacksonville?" He's like, "I think I've done like 4,000 plus transactions." I'm like, Jesus. So make sure that you're there. Other than that, we will see you guys live next Tuesday here in the Facebook group at 9 p.m. Guys, I'm G.
Guys, and I'm Dom.
And this is
The Cascades Network. See you guys later.
Tune it out.